بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome back to my channel QHE Tajwid Rules of the Quran channel in English. We continue our chapter of Sifat Al Arabiyya, and we are in our fourth characteristics. From the characteristics it doesn't have the opposite. We are in Sifat Al Tekraar or Al Takrir. Both of them is right. The repetition. Let's go together and see what's the repetition mean and what's the letter we have this صفة on it. The repetition, our letter, it's only letter Ra, it has تكرار on him. The only letter it has this صفة, it has this characteristic is letter Ra. Let's go together and explain this صفة and make it clear inshallah for you. What's the تكرار mean in اللغة? إعادة الشيء أكثر من مرة. Linguistic definition, repetition of something more than once. في الاصطلاح applied definition, trembling or vibration in the tongue, which the reader can feel but not hear. What we mean by that? ارتعاد في طرف اللسان يحدث نتيجة ضيق الممر يشعره القارئ ولا يسمعه. What we mean by this again? If you say letter R, you will feel a little bit vibration happen in your tongue. This vibration, it should to happen and you should to feel it, but you can't hear several Ra from it. I should to hear one Ra in the end. Let's explain this more. Why this trembling or vibration in the tongue happen when we pronouncing letter Ra? Why? Guess. Let's see together. Because of the narrow passage through which the letter exists. If you look here, you will find the articulation point of Ra, the tongue, the tip of the tongue from the top, with the gum of the upper teeth and scissors. And if you look, you will find the whole tongue is closed from the sides. It's like what I do right now with the arrow. It's like a curve, but this curve is up from the sides and round from the middle. So when the sound is coming from inside to outside, he will only find a little gap here. He will go out from it. This gap is very narrow passage. So by this narrow passage, the sound, it has power. It will cause a vibration in the tongue. The reciter should be careful not to exaggerate the repetition leading to the have more than one of the letter Ra. How he can make one more Ra? How can he make several Ra's instead of Ra? Why this happen? Number one, we should to be careful to not do that. We should to hear one Ra. This is clear mistake. If I make more than one Ra, it's a clear mistake. When it's just one Ra, I should to make just one Ra. But some readers, they make more than one Ra. They say Ar, Ar, Ar. This is wrong. Why this is happen? Because if we look here, this is the tongue and this is the little gap here, the sound is go out from it. If I close this gap by pushing very hard in the articulation point with my tongue, the sound will try to go out. There is no way for him to go out because the tongue is closed from everywhere, even the gap now. So he will push the tongue down by his power. to go outside. So the first ra will come. After that, you keep pushing in this articulation point very hard. So your tongue is back and close again. Sound is coming from inside to outside again. You will push the tongue down one more time to go outside. And by this way, we will have several ra instead of one ra. And this is clear mistake. This is wrong. So my sifa of today, I have to know التكرار as a sifa, repetition as a sifa. It's apart from letter ra. Why it's happened? It's happened because the sound is come out from very little gap here, from narrow passage. So I will feel some vibration on my tongue, but I don't be hard in the articulation point, because this is will make for me another repetition. It's not okay. So I have two kinds of repetition. One repetition, it's part of letter ra as a characteristics, which is I feel vibration on my tongue, but I don't hear anything from this vibration. Second repetition is wrong one, when I push very hard in the articulation point, and this is cause more than one ra pronounce. This is wrong. So you have to be careful about the wrong one, and you have to make the right one right. You don't need to put effort to make the right one. If you use your articulation point right in letter ra, the tekrar, the characteristic of tekrar, which is the one in letter ra, it will happen by itself. But don't push in the articulation point again. I say this several times. Don't push in the articulation point again. We hear this mistake a lot, especially from some Arab people from Saudi Arabia, for example. They say ar. Subhanallah. This is wrong. Instead of I saying, for example, word ar, I will say ar. This is wrong. I make several ra instead of one ra in the Quran. This is clear mistake. It's not okay. Okay? So inshallah this is clear for you. What's the shahid of جزرية for letter ra? واو وياء سكن وانفتح قبلهما. This is اللين. والانحراف صحح في اللام والراء. والانحراف صحح في اللام. This is not my point. والراء. الراء is for the انحراف, and the ra is for وبتكرير جعل. والراء وبتكرير جعل. So I make a تكرير in ra, but I don't make it in purpose. It's happened by itself. Again, the تكرار in ra, its vibration happen in the tongue. I feel it when I sound letter ra or when I pronounce letter ra, but I don't have to hear several ra's come out. I have to hear just one ra. By this, our lesson for today is completely done. Jazakumullah khairan to watch my channel QHE Tajwid Rules of the Quran channel in English. Our characteristic of today, it was very easy, and I hope you understand it very clear. Back for the last class of the tekrar in ra, and back for the articulation point of ra, you will understand ra 100% right, and you can pronounce it inshallah 100% right. There is another videos I would be for about ra in chapter التفخيم and الترقيق, and I explained the mistakes it happened in ra and how can we fix it. So back for these two, if you have a problems in ra, or if you have wrong way to pronounce it, you can inshallah find your mistakes in these videos and how you fix it. I will put it for you as a recommendation, and I will put for you the articulation point of letter ra as a recommendation too in the videos that will appear for you right now. And be sure you click the black arrow in your right hand under the video. You click the black arrow under the video in your right hand to find all the other lessons about characteristics. You can watch on it the characteristics of al-inhiraf and understand more about letter ra. جزاكم الله خيرا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.